Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for joining today's webinar. So the topic that we'll be discussing today is the AVEVA Edge Enterprise for water and wastewater industry. It's not a technical session. Well, it's more addressed to managers and sales department, where we'll be discussing the industry challenges, the edge to enterprise approach or concept, the value proposition, as well as benefits for the water and wastewater utilities. The speaker of today's session is the Managing Director of AITS, Abdullah, who will be guiding us for the coming 40 minutes. So from my end, I just wish you an informative session, and please be reminded that you can type any question you have during the session in the question box, and definitely we will answer it at the end of this webinar. Now, I just wish you an informative session, and I will leave you in safe hands with my colleague, Abdullah. Hi.
Hi, Nader. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, basically. Welcome to another webinar by AITS. Glad to have everyone with us. Today, as Nader has said, we're starting a new type of webinars related to a concept, the edge to enterprise concept. So today we're starting with water and wastewater. As part of a bigger campaign that we're doing. I believe you have received links to download white papers, to download certain brochures, etc. And we're gonna follow up on this in next weeks and coming weeks about the concept of edge to enterprise in food and beverage, in oil and gas, and various industries. Before I start the presentation, I would really like to invite you to just type in the chat box, if you don't mind. When you hear the first year about edge to enterprise, what do you think about? What does it mean for you? What value you think an edge to enterprise strategy can create? Okay, and what challenges you think that must be addressed when adopting an edge to enterprise strategy. It can be general or it can be specifically about water wastewater, and we're going to discuss your comments at the end of this presentation. So today we're going to go briefly about the known, or let's say the common industry challenges today, and I mean the water wastewater industry. Okay, and specifically we're going to talk a little bit about information challenges across the chain, and hence the need of an edge to enterprise strategy to adapt, to overcome those types of challenges, and specifically the information challenges that are represented. And we're going to focus on a particular area, what we call the decision support systems. Okay, because when we speak from edge to enterprise, okay, it might mean different things to different people. So we're gonna focus on how, let's say, an enterprise system would look like in a water or wastewater utility or a municipality, for example. Today, this industry, if you read the mission statements of any water or wastewater utility or municipality that is in charge of distributing water or reclaiming wastewater, they would definitely, the first priority for many of them is to safeguard the public health, and by that we mean making sure that they deliver proper and proper quality water to their subscribers, and properly collect and treat the wastewater from different premises and houses. Okay, at the same time, ensuring customer satisfaction, ensuring the serviceability, ensuring competitiveness, and many other aspects that customers are when they subscribe to a particular utility, okay, or they expect certain service or level of services from them. While definitely when we talk about water, and today water, I think it's we can not I think we can live with anything without anything except water. So we need water. We need water in every aspect of our life. So so this is the most vital commodity that a utility would deliver today, or not only utility, any supplier would deliver today. Okay, while we protect the environment against any leak, be it wastewater leakage, or even leak in transmission pipelines or distribution pipeline, because any water that is leaked is a losses, and in an area in the Middle East, okay, you know how sacred water is. So if you look at this mission statement, these are mainly known. Okay, there's nothing new I can say, and this has been the case with them since they started, I guess. And with that, they face many challenges, and there are many aspects in the wastewater environment. Okay, especially I can say in our region, the water source stress. Okay, we deal with many desalination plants. We deal with many salty water wells. So the source of water that we have is not so perfect, I can say. There's plenty of aging infrastructure, especially in old cities, in old quarters in different cities. 50 or 60 years old infrastructure, not designed for an edge to enterprise or for an information collection or data collection, I can say, strategy. With that, you get more regulations from government. Okay, we see how DEWA is strict, ADWIA, National Water Company in Saudi, and the Saudi Water Ministry of Water, etc. Okay, how strict they are and the regulations that they are imposing. Okay, definitely, as we said, quality, safety, and compliance. And one important factor is the generation shift. And when we say generation shift, not so long ago, 15, 20 years ago, our expectation from the technology is way different than what we expect the technology to deliver today. And the operator, if we have an operator today sitting behind the desktop, we don't think our kids or who are maybe today in unis or at schools would be sitting behind the desktop just idle for 8 hours and operating a water plant. So they expect to be mobile, they expect to have more insights, more data. There's a generation shift, all while this experience for operation and maintenance activities is all really in the heads of the current generation who is now operating and maintaining, and we need to make sure how we can really benefit from this experience, and this knowledge can be transferred through systems to the current generation. It goes without saying, capital expenditure is always a problem. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, it's always a problem. Okay, operation efficiency. You ask any CEO today, this is their number one, I can say, quality, number one KPI. How can I improve my operation efficiency across the chain? And definitely, this can be achieved by better performance, high reliability and availability of assets, and as I was saying earlier, the evolution of their current workforce and their capabilities, how we can maintain, how we can benefit from previous experience of the people of the previous generation, to the new generation with their visions of work, how they want to see work. All while, okay, we hear about technology trends, the cloud, IoT, mobility, big data, predictive analytics, etc., etc. Okay. So we live in this world today, Okay, and I think these are kind of challenges for more, let's say, I can say all the industries, not only water, wastewater, but specifically water, wastewater, because as I said, they deliver the most important commodity today for the human beings. So how we can use this technology trends to benefit or to overcome the challenges and achieve high operational efficiency, etc., and how an edge to enterprise strategy can help achieve that. All right. One of the biggest favor that COVID-19 has offered us today is the faster adaptation of a cloud, faster adaptation of mobile solution, of remote working, of data availability at a certain stage, at a certain point of time, anywhere in the world. It's a huge step, a huge leap forward, a huge fast track that has opened our eyes to cloud, for instance. Many of us was resisting a cloud. Today, cloud has become very important, super important, etc., etc. What we care more about in our world, in our, I can say, automation, industry 4.0, you call it, okay, as the challenges of data, of information, because as I said, we need faster access anywhere, okay. So the challenges that we have in collecting this data in a typical water wastewater environment, okay, as all water utilities, they deal with geographically distributed assets, from the water sources to treatment plants to the water networks, and maybe desalination plants, and then the wastewater networks and collection and the treatment. They are distributed. They deal with cities, and sometimes they deal with states. Okay, so collecting this data is by itself challenging. Add to it the different data sources, the different types. Okay, if you ask me 10 years ago, 8 years ago, okay, I can say I have two types of data. It's either coming through an RTU or through a PLC. Okay, an RTU, maybe the MP3 if I'm lucky. PLC, standard automation protocols, known data structure, etc. Today we deal with much more open systems, much more diverse systems. Today we deal with IoT. IoT by itself is not at a certain standardization level yet. However, it is in the water wastewater environment. You find plenty today of data loggers, IoT ready, okay, called IoT ready. They connect to a certain cloud sitting somewhere. You have no idea what is what. Okay, getting this data outside their systems is by itself a challenge. So on and so forth. More than that, not all data today, operational data, is available through the RTUs or through PLCs, or let's say desalination plant DCS. There are plenty of non-instrumented data. Okay, information that's available maybe with the operator on his sheet of paper. Okay, so there are certain non-operation data that's not available today for us in the automation systems. Add to it the cybersecurity challenges and the security of this data. Okay, we deal with one network of maybe a PLC that can shut down a server farm sitting a few thousand kilometers away. This is a real challenge. So, having said that, for us, if you ask me today, that's why I asked you at the beginning, what does edge to enterprise mean to you? For me, if I want to explain it in a nutshell, for me, an edge to enterprise strategy is if it's to offer me anything, it should offer me a single source of truth. And I mean by that is I need to make sure that the data I have at the edge edge, whether the PLC, the HMI, etc., or the sensor. I can get this data, connect to it, collect it, store it, make sure it's correct, analyze it, and act upon it. I want to make sure that it's the correct data across these all levels. Okay, I don't want to live in a world where I'm making a decision based on maybe a human error by an operator. Okay, or maybe a wrong. I understood the context of data from a data logger differently. So I made an assumption that this means that, or this means A, it might mean B. Okay, so for me, an edge to enterprise strategy is nothing. I'm sorry, not nothing. Most important part of it is it offers me a single source of truth. So I connect, collect, and historize. The funny thing is that we used to explain this this slide, and we used to say the two major historian systems are Wanderer Histor and OSIsoft. So OSIsoft now, welcome to the family of AVEVA. So today we're talking about an AVEVA historian, which can be anything, OSI or Wanderware, etc. So this is just a small comment. On the analysis side, let's say I connected data and collected it and historized it. Okay. On the analysis side, in water, I might need to do hydraulic algorithms, hydraulic modeling. Okay, a predictive analysis of assets, my assets, and I'm gonna elaborate on that more. Okay, and as I said, to make sure I have a valid data validation, alarm rationalization, reconciliation of data, and data cleansing. Okay, all of those are important through the strategy, because accordingly, when I analyze, I need to act. And when I say by act, what I mean by act here in our today's topic is that I want to make sure that if I need to follow certain process, okay, this process has to be properly followed. Okay, if I need to analyze data, I might need it on the cloud. I don't want it anywhere. Okay, I want to be mobile. I don't want to be present in the office where I get access to data. Okay, so the mobility part of it is on data collection side as well as on data analysis side, and that's what we're gonna focus on. So if we wanna map this to the known, I think most of our attendees today, they are familiar with AVEVA and AVEVA products and what AITS is offering. So if we wanna map this today to AVEVA, you are aware of the edge part of it, okay, which is InTouch HMI, AVEVA Edge, etc., which is on the production line side, sorry, on the pump stations, on the data logos side, etc. Let's say 5 years ago or 10 years ago, our objective was to collect this data and have it in central control room. So for us, that was the enterprise system. Central control room, I have data, I have my alarms, I have etc. is my enterprise system. From our pure automation perspective, the enterprise system was the central control. Okay, it's no longer the case today. The enterprise has been extended beyond the SCADA today. So if you ask about what enterprise means today, it means cloud, maybe certain people cloud. It might mean integrating with other enterprise systems or IT systems. It might mean predictive analytics or predictive maintenance. Okay, bridging the gap between maintenance and operation. It might mean mobility, as I said. So it might mean workflow. It's plenty of extension to the central control room. So a central control room today is not only for real-time control and monitoring. It's much more than that. There are 4 pillars I want to talk to you about today, how we can extend this and the concept of our understanding of enterprise when we speak to consultants and users, the language we talk to them about. Because as I said, at the end of the day, definitely we need to improve the real-time control, data collection, situation awareness, and analytics on top of that. Okay, we've been doing this for some time. Analytics, okay, analytics, honestly speaking, was based on our experience in the market, was not as important as real-time control and monitoring for many customers today around the region. Okay, this is, but a year ago or 2 years ago, the analytics part started taking more traction. Okay, they want to know the insights of data that they have. They used to collect data, historize millions of data points in the historian, but what does it mean? We don't know. How we can use it to improve efficiency? We don't know. What are the KPIs we want to read for our operators, for operation team, maintenance team, reliability team, etc., etc. This analytics part started taking more and more tractions and more attention from many water utilities and wastewater utilities around the region. Because as I said at the first slide, if you remember, we want to maximize the performance of our assets, okay? Through predictive analytics. I want to predict a certain failure before it happens. Is that possible? Yes, of course, and I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit later. We want to empower our workforce with mobile solutions, okay? And definitely, we need to optimize the operation and maintenance processes through an automated workflow. So, across the entire urban water cycle today, I want to monitor, I want to control, operate, maintain, and optimize my operations. And that's what we call the decision support system. Nice, good, we have SCADA. Very well. Decision support system is nothing but extending this SCADA, okay? Through 4 pillars, as I said: the analytics and the cloud strategy, the predictive maintenance and artificial intelligence, the mobility and workflow. So these are the 4 key components that for us represent together, or one of them, or 2 of them, or any combination, okay, can represent a decision support system that the customer might be interested in implementing next to his SCADA. So if you have today system platform and central control room, you are halfway through. So you have connected, collected. What you need to do maybe is to do some data reconciliation or cleansing, but you are halfway through. Then the next step is how you use it into these 4 components or 4 subsystems. First thing, many customers are asking us today, okay, what's the best cloud strategy that we have or we can implement? For us, we don't mind. It can be a full on-premise, a cloud fully hosted by the customer. It can be a hybrid, so some component of the systems are locally hosted and the others are on a commercial cloud, okay, or it can be fully on the cloud. So it depends on pain points, it depends on many aspects, many concerns that has to be studied, etc. A cloud strategy can be drawn and can be achieved through what we call, from AVEVA perspective, the AVEVA Insight. Okay, AVEVA Insight is the cloud solution that extend extend system platform, and the historian data to the cloud. All right. Second part, customers might ask, how can I shift from reactive maintenance, okay, to more predictive maintenance? Because reactive maintenance is just waiting for an asset to fail, then go and maintain it or fix it. Okay. Predictive maintenance is predicting before the failure happens. So you are definitely reducing the OPEX because you are increasing the uptime of the certain asset, of a certain pump, for instance. But by preventing the failure, you are naturally reducing the maintenance cost. And overall efficiency is improved. Okay. And as I said, you have data in the SCADA system. Extend it. Connect this data. Let it mean something for you, for your system. Connect it to the maintenance. Map between the CMMS data and the SCADA system. Again, the CMMS data or CMMS system is a traditional enterprise system. It is an IT system sitting in the office, okay, used by office, by maintenance department, maintained in servers in the office. SCADA system usually and traditionally is either in a central control room or maybe in a control room in a plant or maybe simple HMI. Okay, so let's extend this data. Extend the functionality of the SCADA to make use of it. How? Let's say we have a pump. The pump might have 10 sensors, I can say 5, 6 sensors, whatever you want to call it. Okay, bearing temperature, the motor bearings, you have the pressure, the vibration, the temperature, etc., etc. So there might be 10 sensors on it. Those sensors, those data points might either be a real-time point, okay, through the sensor, through SCADA, or might be collected manually. Temperature, through a temperature gun. Okay, so we need to make sure that we are connecting to it, collecting this data properly, historizing it, and then using this data and aggregate it. Okay, sometimes it might be time-based data. So after 30,000 hours, I want to create a certain work request, a state based on certain event or alarm. Okay, if a temperature, motor bearing temperature exceeds certain threshold, let me do a work order or a comparison between two different data points. Pump power consumption versus the volume flow rate might not be matching. There might be way beyond what the theoretical value should be. I can match them, and accordingly, from the analysis I have in the SCADA system, create work request in the maintenance system, and multiple analysis I can make. Most importantly, again, connect and collect, historize the proper data, and then use it and extend it. Third of all, today in the water environment, there are certain statistics. This is worldwide statistics, not Middle East statistics. 40 to 60% of water assets are not connected via automation today. Okay, there are plenty of gauges out in the field, okay, that are manual gauges. There are a lot of this. This is a typical worksheet or a typical operator round for a water operator that goes and do a certain operation on a pump station, a remote pump station, unmanned, etc. Okay, they go there to the field, they write the values, then they bring it back. Someone has to enter it into the system, and imagine again how many mistakes they might make. This is if we consider that they went there. Okay, so during summer of August in the desert, maybe someone might choose not to go and he will look at the previous sheet, and voila, he will copy paste. How can you make sure that he went there? Okay. So if today we talk about digitalization, well, hello. Digitalization is how can I get rid of this piece of paper and put it in a mobile. Today, everyone has a smart mobile. How can I connect this data directly to my server? Okay, not only that. How can I make sure that this particular person, this particular operator, has followed the process of the operation round? He has done 1, then 2, then 3, and then he knows if he reads certain value, if it's beyond certain level, do this, less than a certain level, do that. How can I make sure that he does this? How can I make sure, again, if we remember, this information that the senior operators have in mind is translated into a system, so that a junior operator or a less senior operator would make benefit of all this experience, years of experience that the senior operator might have inside his mind. So a knowledge transfer. So mobility for many people might mean just a report or a dashboard on mobile. Fair enough. This is good. I'm not saying this is bad. This is very good. But mobility at all in a water wastewater environment, or even in an oil and gas environment, these are very common in the oil and gas as well, of this type of geographically distributed systems. You have large desalination plants, for instance, remote wells, etc., where you have plenty of manual operation that an operator has to go and manual data that he has to collect. Okay, that's why we say extending or adapting an automated mobile round, okay, digital mobile round, okay, is a very important piece in the edge to enterprise digitalization strategy. So what you need on your mobile, a graphical user interface where you can enter data, the asset data, do the rounds, all the worker rounds. So there is a certain step. He would go from step 1 to step 2. The system itself will show him what to do. Okay, not only the operation round, the maintenance work orders as well, the maintenance round, and the lockout tag out facility, which is you need to do certain things before you start operating on a certain asset. Okay, might read or might have certain alarms read from the mobile, and definitely I can say startup and shutdown procedure. This is when you need to shut down anything, you have to follow certain steps to make sure that you are doing it in the right way. Okay, as I said, very importantly, the training itself, the knowledge transfer is not anymore up to a certain operator whether to give it or not. Plus, the knowledge, the wisdom is in the system. Very simply, I have my tools. I go and I have this interface on the mobile. This interface on my mobile is replacing this sheet. This is digitalization. This is digital transformation. The last piece of the puzzle, sorry, is the workflow management. In a typical environment today, we deal with different levels of systems. We deal with different level of people, operators, maintenance, managers, planning, warehousing, GIS people, quality, etc., etc. Okay. How can I make sure that I have one, let's say, I have all of these people in different departments using different interfaces and different systems are following the best practice business process that I have in my company or in my utility. Okay, if you leave it to manual, fair enough. ISO is great. It stays on papers in a cabinet somewhere. But how can I make sure that my business processes are followed from the edge, from data collection, from the operator to the enterprise, to the CMMS, to the procurement department, to the HR department, etc., etc. Imagine this challenge. Okay, luckily, AVEVA workflow does that. Okay, I'm not gonna elaborate on this because we have done a few weeks ago a detailed session on this one. I think Carla can leave the link to you on the chat box. You can go and watch it. There are two presentations. One is theoretical and another one is a demo to show you how you can create a certain workflows and make sure that how you build them and follow them well. With that, I come to my conclusion. So, edge to enterprise is not a buzzword. An edge to enterprise strategy is when I say I want to digitalize from the edge from my sensors to my enterprise systems. So the enterprise system does not stop at in the control room in the SCADA. It's way beyond that. I can make use of my data to create more intelligence, more knowledge, and more wisdom, and act upon that and enhance my operational efficiency across the chain. And with that, I'm done. If there's any question, Nader, Carla, I'm happy to answer.
Thanks, Abdullah. Thank you so much for this valuable session. I hope everyone found it interesting as much as they did. So we will wait now to receive the audience questions, if there is any. Please, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to type it in the question box. And in the meanwhile, just wanted to remind everyone that, as Abdullah has mentioned, we have started our Edge to Enterprise campaign. This month was the water and wastewater one, while the food and beverage, smart cities, and oil and gas ones will follow as well. These campaigns are localized as well as Arabized. So also this webinar, you will be receiving an Arabic version subtitled of it soon. So since also all of you or most of you have attended our webinars before, you know that you can just find all our webinar recordings on our YouTube channels. So you can just simply follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channels to stay tuned with all our news and videos. Links are already existing now in the chat box as well. So to start with the question number one. Edge to enterprise is great, but how to start or where to start? Abdullah, if you can help with this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where to start? Basically,
big question.
Yeah, let me go back to this slide. Okay, here. Okay, so again, the objective, one of the main objective is a single source of truth. Okay, so where to start is basically to start making sure you are able to connect definitely and collecting the data and rationalizing it. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're collecting the data and make sure that the data you're collecting is rationalized, is validated, etc. Okay, so this is the first step, because again, if you analyze the wrong data, okay, you'll get a wrong KPI. Today, if you have system platform already in place, you did your 50% or halfway through, I can say. Okay, what we have seen in many customers today, even if they have system platform, there's plenty of, I can say, not the quality of data is questionable, some data. Okay, so what they do today, okay, if they have collected the data and collected, they go through certain projects of making sure the data is very well cleansed and validated before they start analyzing and acting accordingly. So first step is collect and rationalize.
Okay, great. Second question regarding the mobile solution. Someone is asking, does it require to download any application for the mobile solution?
Yes, this is AVEVA Mobile. Okay, so here, let me be clear. On the mobile part, when we're talking about the operator rounds, where you can again collect the data, the non-instrumented data, where you can ask the operator to follow certain procedure and to follow the correct process that they have, and replace their worksheet with the mobile. This is a system called AVEVA Mobile, okay, integrated with system platform, integrated with the historian. So the data that you collect on the mobile is pushed to the historian if you are connected to the internet and historian connected to the internet. If not, when you come back, there's kind of a certain steps you do, and you get the data pushed directly to the Wanderer historian. So you don't need to put in Excel and etc. No, it's directly fed from the mobile application, from the mobile database to the Wanderer historian. So there is certain ready-made. Okay, you don't need to. It's a graphic user interface, ready-made. You have to configure. So what we do, we take the operator rounds that you have today in the plant, and we translate it. Not only we translate it, we see how it can be enhanced. Okay, because you don't discover a paper-based system does not allow you to discover that you might have certain unnecessary steps. Okay, but when you are putting into a system, okay, you will be able to visualize it better. Okay, and then accordingly, maybe you have the first draft or the process in the system, and then you start studying it, and you start improving it as you go. So what you need to do for mobile is to configure. You don't do anything from scratch. It's a system. AVEVA Mobile is a software part of the entire H2 enterprise. And this is an important point I missed to add. Here we're talking about one solution, one single source of truth, but with multiple components. Okay, but the heart of those solutions of this strategy is system platform. System platform is the one connecting the devices below it, which are the edge devices, to the enterprise systems above it. Okay, so AVEVA Mobile is fully integrated with system platform, and it's at the purpose.
Okay, great. I'm not sure if this one is already covered, this question. Someone is asking a single source of truth. Can we just elaborate more about this point?
Okay, good. I'm on the slide. The single source of truth. Single source of truth, again, as I said, we need to make sure that when you are acting upon a result, okay, that you analyzed, you need to make sure that this analysis is based on the correct data. So the data that is available here at the edge, okay, is well reflected in the analyzed KPI here, that upon which you are making actions, or you are taking actions, okay, and making decisions. Okay, this is what we mean by single source of truth. If you don't have this, you will have to depend on multiple systems, multiple maybe different people, different operators. Someone has data in spreadsheets, some other people have data in SQL database, some other people have data in PLCs, multiple data sources, and in different contexts, and different things that might mean differently to different people. Okay, and good luck analyzing such type of data and making action, or taking action, making decisions based on that. So that's what we mean single source of truth. You are making sure that if you read 1 at the edge, it means 1 at the enterprise. It does not mean 1 plus 1, 1.1 or 1.2. 1 is 1.
Perfect. Okay. Abdullah, the problem that we are running out of time, and anyway, I just want to thank you for the session. I want to thank everyone for attending as well as participating and with their questions. We will for sure have another session soon with the new campaigns, talking about the other verticals as discussed. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you so much, Abdullah.
You're welcome, Nader. Just one final message to the system integrators and our partners who are on the call. Okay, please feel free to reach us anytime for any question, for anything that you might need part of this edge enterprise. We're happy to take them. If there are end users on the call, I think we're already engaged with many of you on implementing this type of strategy. It's an incremental strategy, incremental steps to achieve the objectives that you have today. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.